I'm Brad Mills, and I'm addicted to motorcycles.
Hey, what's up guys? My name's Darla and today I'm here with Brad Mills.
Howdy.
Where do we begin?
I guess we'll start with the 73. That's the one that's riding and running, and we just went out and a little putt on. So yeah, I bought that 3 years ago. I got a phone call. I work at Harley, so got a phone call. Some old lady trying to get rid of an old Shovelhead her husband had and passed, and she was ready to move on with it. And it was a complete bike, and wasn't running, but didn't take much to get it going. And then immediately pulled it out, pulled the motor trans out, and then had the Paco frame from a purchase that I bought years ago for 65 pan that's still in pieces. Put it in that, and then built it kind of with the help of my dad when I was in with him before I got my place here, and went back and forth on color. And the original bike that I bought, the 73 whatever complete bike, was purple to begin with, so it kind of just made sense to do purple again.
Stick with purple.
Yeah, and then my poor dad, he painted it for me, but he definitely went rounds with me trying to get the flames right. He started with the tank, and they were just too big, and he had already like taped half of it off, and I was like, you gotta go smaller. And I think he spent like 3-4 days just taping the fuel tank, taping the frame, and then probably like a couple hours to shoot it and paint it. So.
Did you want it to be like the rainbow kind of colors, or was that his idea? Or
Yeah, no, that was definitely my idea. I don't think a lot of people understood or saw the vision of like doing all the crazy colors. They kind of look like gummy worms, like when you before it like pulled the tape, it was like full gummy worms. And I think it's cool. It's not everyone's style, but I definitely wanted something to pop and look cool. And I've definitely like been outside of a bar and someone walks by and they're like, cool bike, but that paint job. It's like that's kind of like the reaction I wanted. It's like crazy, wild.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, you go, this sticker right here is
Definitely make a statement with that sticker. Sure.
Making a statement.
Yeah, shout out to Rube, fucking Death Co. Hopefully I got that right.
Well, that's sick that your dad does that. You said he painted your other bikes back here too.
Yeah, the 78 Ironhead, painted that years ago. Probably seen my dad's bike too. It's got a 45 Survey. It's like full Springer front end, fiberglass body, 8-foot exhaust coming out the back, big old Mickey Thompson drag tires.
Do you have a vision yet for how you're going to have him paint this, or?
I don't know if I'm gonna have him paint it yet.
He's gonna leave it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool.
He might paint it. I know he wants to, but I might take a stab at it and fuck it up, and then I'll let him paint it. So.
Fix it, yeah.
Exactly.
That's funny. Did you and your dad do most of the work on this bike, or?
It wasn't like a ton of fabrication or anything like wild or difficult. I mean, I made like the pegs, the foot pegs myself, fender brackets, exhaust mounts. They're like Prism Supply, foot clutch and brake, which I couldn't get the stainless, so I bought the raw, and then I just sent it out for chrome because I wanted to keep as much chrome as possible. And then I bought the front end off of a buddy of mine because I was running the shorty at first, and it didn't look right in the black. It kind of threw it off, and really wanted a chrome front end. And my buddy happened to be selling one, and I picked it up while we went to my buddy's 30th. And we went like camping, and he brought this like front end with him, like camping. It was kind of cool, like get
Just
it.
Works out that way sometimes.
Exactly.
That's so cool. And what about the brake light is like my favorite part. Did you just find that?
The old the cat tail light?
Yeah.
So that's on a cast aluminum license plate holder, and then just a little cat eye in there, which I got that from Fresno Choppers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he casted that.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, the cat.
Yeah. I think it's rad. Sick. And in the 3 years that you've had it, have you gone anywhere cool on this bike?
I've ridden it to Virginia City. That's probably like the furthest I've gone on it. First year, no problem. Second year, I think I got water in like the electrical and it just wasn't happy and ended up in the back of the truck for most of the trip. But I got a little bit of riding in, so it was cool.
Would you say this is like complete, or is there still stuff you're wanting to change or do to it, or you're pretty happy with
The sissy bar is broken, so I need to fix that, and it's a bummer because it's all chromed and nice, but that needs to get fixed. But my priorities are kind of like this, and I don't know, bought a KTM, and I don't know, I like going out in the dirt more than riding Harleys right now, so.
The weather is just barely going to start getting better, hopefully, so.
Yeah, I think like once the weather changes and it's nice t-shirt weather to jump on the bike, I'll get back on it.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have a favorite, like something that stands out to this bike, or the part of it that like you were the most stoked about when you did it or got?
Yeah, definitely. There's so jockey shift, so it's foot clutch jockey shift. My jockey shift handle I bent up and like made myself, and then my dad actually machined the end piece on it. And I that's actually the second one. The first one, I lost it on the way to Virginia City. It fell off. I don't know if it broke a windshield or was a good chunk of aluminum.
Very well might have.
Yeah, right. And before he made that one, I dug through like all his like old coins like from South Africa, and he had like an old Rhodesian coin, which is that's where my dad was born, and it was a 1973 Rhodesian coin, and I was like, we should inlay that into the shifter, and that's what we did. So
that's
for the 73
cool.
shovel, and just pay homage to Pops. So
that's rad.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Do you name your bikes?
Do I? I don't know.
Well, some
Kinda,
people. Okay, so for example, Tommy, who we interviewed, he is not about it. Hasn't named anything, not once. Doesn't agree. I highly disagree. And so now I'm like, I just kind of assumed everybody was naming things, but apparently not. So now I'm just wondering, like, does this nasty gal have a name or what?
I don't think it has a name. I think like it's gotten nicknames and nothing's stuck, I guess. And I don't know. I'm not like a big like name my vehicles, I guess. Well,
that's plumb wild, ain't it?
I mean, that's a lie.
That's what just happens.
I got the C10, and we call her Whitey. So
Whitey,
yeah.
Okay. Do you have any upcoming plans or rides that you're going on with this one?
I might do Virginia City again. Well, for sure we're gonna do it. I don't know if I'm gonna ride the chopper or not. My dad had picked up a '78 like Shovelhead bagger, and he wants me to like break that in and like do shakedowns on it. So I might go snag that and then ride it up until the show, and I might actually ride it to the show because I think it would just be a comfortable bike to have the lady on instead of having her take the breakdown truck and at least get on the back and enjoy the ride instead of chauffeuring me around when I break down.
I don't know anybody who thinks this is a...
Yeah, I didn't build it. I had intentions like, yeah, I should get on the back. No, that's not gonna happen.
You're like, how would you like to put your tush right here with the broken sissy bar?
Yeah.
It's dangerous, baby.
It's a motorcycle.
That's the authentic life right there.
Yeah. I'm trying to build this to suit her getting on the back. Not all the time, but
I mean,
like if you gotta jump on,
more comfortable already.
You gotta jump on and go somewhere, it'd be better than not, I guess.
So where did this come about?
I found this on Craigslist, oddly enough. I never look at Craigslist, I'm always Marketplace. And this happened to pop up on Craigslist, and I'm sure a ton of people saw it, and I hounded the guy. He didn't answer, her phone was off. I think I hounded him for like 2 days, and he eventually picked up, and he was like, you're the first person I called. And I'm like, so I just got lucky, super lucky, and he happened to be like a quarter mile from my work, and I was like, I'll come right now. Like, I'll come buy it right now or put a deposit on it. Let me come look at it. And he was like, yeah, let me shower and I'll meet you at the storage unit. And it was just buried in the storage unit with just junk, just blankets and like a dining room table, and then this 57 sitting in there. And I had to like borrow money from like the owner and like my GM.
You're like, this needs to happen.
Because I couldn't like run to the bank or anything, and I ran into the office like, give me money, like I gotta put money on this bike. And they're like, they just gave it to me, they didn't ask me what it was for, and I was like, all right, I gotta leave. And I went and put a deposit on it, and then it was like a bank holiday that Monday, so I couldn't even get money out. the next day or the following day, so I had to wait like 3 days to go get money and then go pick the bike up and finish the deal. And I don't know, I was like very like antsy all weekend. Like it was like the swap weekend too. Like I'm like running into people and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna get a 57, and like it was a good deal and eventually like worked out. And the more I dive into it, it's like the more, I don't want to talk shit, but it's like there's a ton of problems, and if I just jumped on it like the way it was, I probably would have like crashed or killed myself.
Oh my God.
It was pretty rough. Definitely
good
put together
project.
with a lot of zip ties and you know,
Bubble gum?
Yeah, bubble gum, exactly. So.
I think, were you thinking like, damn, I got some respect at work. I just was like, give me some money, and they just gave it to me.
Yeah, right? I was like, and I came back and I was like, you guys didn't even want to know what the money's for? And they're like, what's the interest rate on the return? I'm like, all right, fuck you guys. Like, I think it's like, I don't know, all like the guys I work with, they're like, why do you want to ride old junk? Like, breaks down, you got a wrench on it. And I'm like, I don't know.
They don't understand.
Yeah, it's style, it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's right up my alley. So.
Well, anybody can have like a regular factory made bike. That's just the same, they're all the same.
I get it, it's reliable, they're comfortable, they're fast, but...
They're also very expensive.
Yeah, that's true
Some
too.
of them cost more than cars.
Yeah. I couldn't justify it, so...
How long ago was that when you got this?
2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Slow project.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And just like finding cool parts to like throw on it and add to it, so... I'm not like trying to rush it, it's not like I need to finish it, because... I don't have a chopper, so I mean, I got that one, so I'll ride that one and just back burner this one and go ride my dirt bike. And
so what are your plans so far?
I mean, it's getting pretty close. It doesn't need much. I need to make like foot controls. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't really want floorboards. I don't really think it's super wide. I want to keep it all tight and narrow. Passenger mount foot pegs for the lady. Want to do jockey shifts. I'll probably machine another thing.
Yeah. I got you.
And then other than that, it's just wire it, oil it, and hopefully it runs, and then take it all apart and get it painted.
Hell yeah.
Chromed. Probably chrome the sissy bar and a few things. I'm not gonna do a ton of chrome just because it's older gal, she doesn't need all the bling.
Did you guys make this sissy bar?
I did, I made that from just, I mean, people are gonna make fun of me, but it was just like MAP gas, just sitting for probably 30 minutes, just heating it up, and then I'd bend it, and it'd be wrong, and I'd bend it again, and
You're like forging fire, like the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there you go.
Getcha.
That's pretty handy.
I'll just keep it.
Just hold it for the rest of the video so you feel safe. When I would be at the gas station by myself on my Sportster, guys would always come up to me out of like nowhere. Like even if there's no cars, I'm like, where the fuck do these people come from? Are they just like living on the street? They're just gas station people, I guess. But people are always trying to like come up to me and like talk to me or talk about the bike or like, hey baby, what's your name? All that stuff. And I was like, I need a fucking party trick knife to just be like, what's good?
Stabiful?
Yeah. It's sketchy.
I'll put this down before I hurt myself.
So what's your plans for
another back burner project? It's just like a hodgepodge of panhead parts, and then I have one in the fireplace too. That's the 65. That's what came with like the Paco. And then that's the original shovel frame that came with the purple bike, because I didn't want to hardtail and do all then. But my pops, he won a frame jig at the NorCal Chopper Show in Waterloo. He won like best, I don't know, fabrication or something like that, and then he won a frame jig, and he gave it to me, and then it was like kind of perfect opportunity. My buddy Ryan had a front half of a shovel and wanted to weld the hardtail, and I had the frame jig, so I bought the material to assemble the frame jig, and then I snagged me a hardtail kit. He grabbed one, and then just came down here one day, and we just welded them together. And no real plans, just like another thing to hoard and collect parts and eventually maybe build. So.
Now that's sick.
That front end too. That front end's pretty cool. It was like another marketplace find. I got it cheap, but I've never seen another one. It's like it looks like two front ends like welded together, so you can like see like the one half of the front end, and then joins the other half, and it's kind of funky, but I thought it was cool, and I might run that on something eventually. I was gonna put it on this, but it doesn't. My like stance isn't right. I want to keep this one like low and.
Yeah, that one looks a lot longer.
Yeah, it's double the front end. So.
Yeah.
Is that an 80-inch motor?
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know what's in it.
Oh.
Mystery motor. Okay. Another thing I haven't taken apart, or it's got dual plug heads, and I don't know if it's cam. I don't know anything about it. I just put it in there. Ran. It runs.
It's a motor.
Yeah, it's good. and I'll run it until it's not good. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about mystery motor. Mystery motor with this too. I mean, I looked down inside the cylinders. They look clean, and I pulled the cam cover off. Everything looks good in this motor. I mean, I got it fired up when I got it. I let it run for like a minute or two, and then that was it. I tore it all apart, pulled the motor, and then started cleaning up the frame and piecing it together. I did like the BDO belt drive primary on there because it had the original chain, and I don't think this is the original trans either. It's a later trans that they cut like the trans support plate off. So I don't know. It's a fun one for sure.
I heard from a little bird that you've been around motorcycles since you're basically a baby. Is that you want to like talk about like how you even got into motorcycles? I assume was it your dad or?
Yeah, my
born
pops,
into the game.
Yeah, definitely born into like riding motorcycles and being around motorcycles. And I think as soon as I could walk, my dad put me on a little Pee Wee 50, and there you go for it. So always been on motorcycles. Always been around Harleys. So like going back like just a little bit of history. Like I'm originally from South Africa. Moved here. 97 with my dad and my brother, but back in South Africa, my dad was like president of the Harley group of South Africa.
Hog.
Hog.
Yeah.
Essentially like hog, but not hog, like not
Yeah.
what we consider hog now, because those guys are cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, super cool guys. It was just like a different thing. It was like
Yeah.
earlier start of like
OG.
having a Harley, and the only reason he was like chairman or president or whatever is because my grandpa, his dad, like started the Harley Davidson Club of South Africa. So my grandpa ran it, and was like the founder and started everything. And then I guess when he passed, my dad like moved in and was running the club and part of like vintage car clubs, had old motorcycles, had new. Yeah, I mean, my dad has I have like a vest. It's like a 3-piece vest, like outlaw or whatever, biker vest. That it was like called Steel Wings of South Africa, and it's like their club. And he didn't have to like do anything to like get into the club. Like he didn't have to go through the whole jumping through hoops. They just kind of like because of who he was and how he is in the community with motorcycles. They just kind of like he got like grandfathered in and got colors. Which I still have, and like I want to like frame it and put it up, but
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
yeah, I just haven't done it yet.
And he's still riding today.
Yeah, he's still riding. He built the 45 flathead Servy car. We'll stab that in there. You guys will see that. It's a pretty cool bike. I mean, he wins awards. It's kind of annoying to take any of my bikes to a show because they just get trumped by his, and it's just cool. I mean, kudos to him, but you know, maybe let me win something.
Yeah, you're like, when is it my time,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah, so going back to that, my dad, it's his fault. This is all the motorcycles. This is 100%.
It's your fault my garage looks like this.
Yeah. Well, he's like, he doesn't discourage any of it either. I'll send him like posts and be like, what do you think? He's like, go get it, go buy it. And I'm like, you're not supposed to, like, you gotta have some sort of like deterioration of it.
What does his garage look like?
I end up with half his shit, so.
Oh, okay. He's enabling.
Yeah, exactly.
At least he's supportive.
Yeah, I think he's down to like 3 or 4 bikes, maybe 5. And I think I'm at like double digits.
Especially if you count the ones that aren't fully
Yeah,
bikes.
pieces, right? Some under the bed, some under the house. The lady, she doesn't know about those.
You always been into Springer?
I don't know why I end up buying Springers. I just keep doing it. Like, I think it's just like a cool, like, to me that's like the pinnacle of like choppers is having a Springer front end. And I'll ride my other buddies' bikes and with the nice front ends, oil filled, and it's like, man, this isn't a rough ride. This is actually pretty nice.
Yes,
I don't know why I've
luxury.
Yeah, like I'm just beating myself up
It's
riding
because
these Springers.
Springers fucking look cool.
This is true.
Yeah.
Like the springs like vibrate, and you're like,
I mean,
are they gonna come apart? Like,
especially if you're already used to it. So
yeah, I think it's too late for me to go back to
yeah.
anything else. Which I got the Dyna. Like the Dyna is like, that's like the performance, build, fast, do it all. Got the bags, travel. I go nowhere on that bike. I maybe ride it to and from work. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But I have it. So
Old,
it's like,
reliable.
if I need it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually, that bike I bought from my mom, who bought it brand new in Auburn off the showroom floor, and then she crashed it in 2005, I think, and then didn't want to ride ever again. And then it just got tucked away in the garage, and then I refused to buy a Harley when I got my motorcycle license, and I ended up buying like a street bike. But I ended up buying a Buell, which was like,
Look at you now.
but it's like I bought a Harley. Like I bought a street bike Harley, and I rode that for a little bit, and it was just like I was gonna kill myself. 18 years old riding that thing, and then I got convinced to buy the Dyna, and I've had it ever since. I've crashed it a few times, and it's had its fair share of abuse, but I keep bringing it back. Keep fixing
Yeah, I was
it,
saying, I mean, it
keep
looks
riding.
solid.
Yeah, the left side of the fuel tank's all caved in, and
It's character.
there's the original fairing that was painted to match the bike.
Oh, that's a beautiful memory right there.
Yeah, I broke my wrist actually. I was doing like 75 on 80 heading to work in the fast lane, and the right two lanes started to slow down, and dude jumped right into my lane, and I locked up and high-sided it and kind of like bounced off the back of his car, and it pitched me left. And when it pitched left, it like broke the lower triple tree, and that's like that impact like broke my wrist, because I ended up like head first over the handlebars and like slid on my back till I hit the like center median, and I like got up and like obviously like I'm gonna die like through the air, but I got up and I was like, man, I'm actually like not too bad. A little bit of road rash and a broken wrist. It's like I'm very lucky.
I've only had one motorcycle accident, and I broke my knee and fractured my femur, and I felt the exact same way. Like I was just kind of like,
yeah.
And at the time, you do not feel like, I don't know how it was for your wrist, but I was like jumped up. I didn't even realize that this was all broken. I was like, my bike. I was like trying to lift my bike up and stuff, and then I broke my pinky finger, and I kept being like, my pinky really hurts, like hyper focusing on my pinky, until like when I went to the hospital, they were like, this is broken, this is fractured, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I thought I sprained my wrist. I was like, oh, it's not that bad. And my dad picked me up out from work and took me to the hospital. He's like, you're going to the hospital. And my wrist was like a, and I was like, okay, maybe it is broken. Talk about the 49, the Triumph in the house. I mean, I inherited that from and I say inherit, but my dad gave it to me because it'll be part of my inheritance anyways. He's not going to sell it and get rid of it or what have you. And so I ended up with it, and it had always been in my house growing up, like as a child. Like that Triumph was always in the house, and then my dad had a 29 Douglas too that he keeps in his house still. So both those bikes were in the house growing up, and then they moved around, and then went to Texas, came back, and then when they came back, they gave me the bike when we bought the house to put in our house, and I had to beg and plead.
We can do a 1 minute segment of MTV Cribs.
Yo, come on in. This is my crib.